What's up, everyone? This is the Godfather Dictator.
Answer from 17.
Welcome back to my Ninja Gaiden 2 Master Ninja No Damage, and this is Chapter 12. I didn't see the title, but you said it
It is
earlier.
Quickening Devastation.
And we're actually getting real close to the end here. Also, couple of annoying part here, and actually, I think this is the chapter that I was on the last part where I didn't know if I could avoid taking environment damage from the lava, you know,
With Z5. Yeah.
which is very similar to what I was asking myself in the acid cave, basically on, am I going to be able to make it past that part? And like, without really spoiling it of what I did, I actually managed to make it past that part. So that was pretty much the last point in the story where if I didn't find a way to make it past that place, no damage, it technically would not have been a full no damage run, you know.
And thus the reason we said the first legit no damage run, as
Yeah.
amazing as that other run is, he does take damage, whereas you do not.
No, definitely not. And those two places, you take damage from those two specific places, and he stopped there like a fucker, that one. So he take damage from the acid cave going regularly. I guess he probably thought he could not do it without taking damage, and then he also takes damage from the lava on the Zidonius fight, basically.
Yeah. I do love the colours on this segment. You know, with that glowing green eye in the centre of the roots that's kind of
And is it
contrasting with all the harsh lava.
is it the place where Draga is actually when we?
I
look
think
at
it's
it?
meant to be, yeah,
Yeah, right.
where the ritual's taking place.
Yeah. What a cool fight.
The best fight in the game, obviously.
Oh my god, it's terrible. So here, that fight also, it can be quite bad if you're not careful, because if you go fight them there, I actually never noticed that until the last time I was here. And when I say I never noticed that on the previous difficulty, basically, is that the armadillo are actually on the left down there, and it's them that are throwing the fireball out of their body.
Yeah.
I never
Get
noticed
used
that.
to that, folks.
Yeah.
That's a nightmare.
I never noticed that. I thought it was like the lava. Well, it's, how can you say like a waterfall when it's not made of water? A lava fall?
Well, you see, the term waterfall conveys exactly what we need to know. No, it's just a waterfall of lava.
Yeah, okay, so there you go. A waterfall.
But I do like lava fall, and I like the commitment to finding out the
Right.
exact terminology.
Yeah, I don't know if there is. You know, I just went.
There's probably a word in French that nails it perfectly that we don't have.
Yeah, because you could probably say like, what is a waterfall, but without mentioning water in it in French, you know. So it would be more like une chute de lave, which would be a waterfall of lava, but it would translate more to a lava fall.
Yeah, I like it.
So here, I think I'm going back and refilling the arrow. I'm not sure though. What am I refilling here? Yeah, the arrow.
Yeah, arrows.
And
Obviously buying healing items so that you can use them later on.
yeah, very important to fill up those healing items. So I think right now the next fight is the double armadillo. That fight can either go very well or it turns to shit in matter of seconds. Basically, that's what it is. And you can see their back right now, and there
Yeah,
you see.
you can see him there on the left.
Yeah. I never noticed at first. I really thought it was the waterfall of lava. Right there, you know, flowing, and there we go. And after that,
This is a very impressive level graphically for its time.
yeah,
Some
it
of these
does look good.
surfaces that are glistening, it just looks really, really nice.
And I think the remaster, you think up the quality a little bit, maybe?
Oh, definitely. It helped the resolution become higher.
And also because of, I
Kept up
feel,
frame rates.
yeah, exactly, more stable frame rate is what I'm going to say too. So that one here, sometimes it's strange because he will teleport, you know, out of the way when you knock him out, which can be really weird. Also, you can get hit from the other guy while the other one is exploding. I mean, there's
Cool story.
yeah, there's there's many things. that can go wrong in that fight.
I do like the shuriken stun lock though when you get it on his face.
If not though, dude, that fight would be terrible. Actually, imagine fighting those guys like you have to go close range and do this.
It
no
is
damage.
terrible. Most people don't realize that the shurikens can do this.
Yeah,
That was the teleport you mentioned. Oh, and the
I could not. Yeah, could not OT the guy. I don't know
here's
why.
a question for you then, Godfather.
Go ahead.
What would you think of the viability of a no-shop modifier on a run like this? Because it would mean no upgrades on the weapons and no replenishment of items nor arrows.
Yeesh. I don't know, man. I think it would be like
You think that's too much?
for no damage.
Yeah.
No, I think it would be impossible. In my opinion, I mean, I'm just going with the fact that there's a lot of time where I absolutely needed to go back to the shop. You know, same thing that goes back to when, we'll say people were saying the no nimpo variable in here. You know, adding no nimpo.
Yeah, no nimpo is something.
And while I think it's possible up to a point, I don't think it's achievable humanly, if that makes sense.
If you could segment every fight, so it was just each fight segmented, I think it'd be more than possible.
Yeah, I think it
With
could
enough
be
time and enough dedication.
I think it could be possible, but that the thing would be that like it wouldn't be done in the legit way where people want you to save at fucking save statue, you know? That's a big
Well, fuck
thing.
those people. It's just theoretical.
Yeah, no, I don't understand what you mean, but it pretty much goes back to that because just if I'm thinking real quick, okay, just early on, we'll say chapter 1, okay, just when you meet, you know, the place where you can farm those guy that comes out like infinite basically, and there's those archer there. Just getting past that part without using nimpo is hard. Because those archer, you know as well as I do, they have like pinpoint fucking accuracy. And let's just
They're
say...
Neo Ninjas, that's who they are.
Yeah. And let's just say you make it pass, okay? The first section, they keep firing at you once you pass under the bridge, okay? And then you have more guys, more arrow, dude, once you cross over, you know, the pole, and then you got another section of arrow. So we just get to one of the first section in the entire game, and already there I'm just thinking, how the hell do I do that without, you know, using nimpo? And then and then after we'll say we go to wait, let me think real quick. We go to chapter 2, the Rasetsu fight in the middle of the chapter. You know, the biggest problem with that fight is that you have to rewatch the cutscene every time, and while it might be possible to do it without using nimbo, it would just be fucking aggravating because you kind of need to make it easier due to the fact that the gauntlet is a fucking piece of shit, you know? So very early on in the game, I think it's like you get all these quick indication that tells you that it would be possible to do it without nimpo, but do you even want to try to do it without nimpo? That's the thing. Because to me, after doing it, no damage, we'll say legit, we'll say the first one, and if someone would ask me, would you try to do it no nimpo? No, I would not, you know? And I'm redoing a second run right now, but I'm not gonna try to fucking do that no nimpo. It's like, fuck that. If there's someone that want to attempt it, they're welcome to, but I think they're gonna lose their sanity along the way, way before they would achieve it, similar to Timmy Gunn's run.
Yeah, Timmy Gunn's legendary run.
Like, looks good on paper, never finished it, so I don't know. It's
which leads us to dropping the gauntlet on the ultimate challenge, of course. NGB, no damage, no nimpo, no upgrades. Can that be done?
I think it could. Can you use though True Dragon Sword later on when it upgrades?
Yes. I don't think that counts, because to me, if the game gives it you and it's part of you not actively upgrading it yourself, I think it should count and be fair.
Yeah,
there will be people who disagree with that, but I think it's fair game.
All right. So, but it would be hard, but I think it would be possible. Though I think if I would go no upgrade, I don't think I would attempt the Fiend challenge.
No.
You know,
I don't
Be-
blame you at all.
because like that, I feel like that would be a little bit overkill. That technically even goes back to Great Bridge Challenge. That I feel it's similar to doing this game no Nimpo.
Yeah.
Like impossible to do. Yeah, I think it's impossible.
I hope
to do.
we live to see a day where someone does that.
It would be nice, but the problem with this is that when we'll say we have the perspective from someone that did like some of the hardest thing, no damage, and the majority, and I'm not just talking about me. I mean, I'm talking about we'll say other people that would see the potential of those, and like when we're doubting if it will ever be possible, like I don't know. It's like I have, we'll say, huge reservation on ever seeing that in my life, But
And can I just confirm as well that this is a different kind of will it be possible than, say, military destruction, where that's possible, you just need the God run.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so frustrating.
Yeah.
Whereas this is just, I don't see a world where this can be done.
No, that's it. I don't see, except if someone again at some point is we'll say there's an emulated version that comes out, people can use save state, maybe do each part individually, but then again, does it have the same merit as if it was
You see,
done?
now that, I don't agree with that. That's where my line gets drawn.
Yeah,
It'd still be cool, but I don't think that counts then.
no, that's what I'm saying.
It
Yeah.
has to be singly done.
Yeah, I at first I thought you saying you don't agree with me. I mean, okay, so you agree with what I'm saying, that it
Yeah,
does not
exactly.
have the
Like,
same merit.
If you
Okay.
segment it with save states, you are falling into that pitfall of, well, where do you draw the line? then?
No, that's exactly.
Are
It's
you gonna
exactly
every
that.
move you do save state, save state,
Say exactly.
and
Well,
where
you
does it end?
you could do it, but I mean, yeah, you're not gonna get definitely the same merit to me than if someone that would have done it from the get-go. That's the thing. Yeah, exactly. Because to me, it's just not legit. I mean, how we've said many times, and it still remains true, that the debate on no damage run is a great one, because it goes
It's
from
a cool one.
perspective, on whether there's people that will say like, hey, no damage should be in one fucking segment, other people should say it should be segmented, all of that. But regardless of what people think, though, when you make it work in a way that is legit, and for instance, that thing here is safe statue in that game, but well, using safe state makes it unlegit if you do it where there's no statue. That's
Yeah.
pretty much what we're saying here. So
Excluding, of course, if somebody has set rules of how they're using it and they explain it at the beginning.
yeah, that's all right. I mean, if they don't up to it, and the guy would be
Because no
like,
damage is very much a created construct, isn't it?
It
Something
is.
that we've come up as players to push ourselves in games.
yeah, it
It's
is.
not all agreed upon. There's no universal. There's no preset to fall into. It's just the agreed upon method of calculating it as legitimate.
So that's why basically no damage run comes from the perspective of the individual that does it, the person that does it. But I feel, it could work out a bit as what I told you before, even if it's again debatable, where the first no damage run of a game, depending on how it's made, would kind of be like the point of reference,
Setting.
unless of course many people would agree, watch the run and saying like, no, that that run cannot be the first point of reference because this and this and that. For example, that the Ninja Gaiden 2 is a good example of that. I mean, that run for the longest time is a point of reference for a no damage run. It's not an actual no damage run, but it still says that on the video, but right now it's wrong. Does it mean that though the guy was not good or anything? No, but it removes what it is.
Technically, it's not no damage.
Yeah, it's definitely
That's
not.
just an observation. That's not even hating or.
No, not at all. Because some of the strat that he used were actually useful in my run, So
Yeah, the guy's a great player.
I'm definitely not shitting on it. I think technically, dude, if the guy knew that, he could go back to his run and fucking do it, where I do it like that, and I'm sure
Fix those segments
I'm
and
sure he would fix
do no
those segments, and he would have the the second legit run, no damage, but he definitely needs to do it because it's been shown now that it's possible to do it. So no excuse, basically. Also, one thing I mentioned here, because I mean we're talking about different stuff, not necessarily just about what's happening in that fight. The reason why I'm charging counter direction is that, have you noticed on that 360 attack that the last part of the move goes in the opposite direction of where you charge? So that's why usually people charging facing the other direction like this, because you will see once I finish the spinning move, it goes back in his face, boom, and that's exactly what you want. By the way, here that move is literally courtesy of Seraphim here.
Well, you see, you say that, but I'm almost certain that the wind path into the Raining Blood, or the aerial scythe-wise, is something I saw way back when from probably a much better player than I was.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well. Anyway, you're the one that told me, so I'm giving credit to you.
It's really good at stunning them and isolating one.
Well, technically, I'm giving credit to you without you taking credit for the strategy. So is that fair enough?
Could have been mine. Maybe it was someone else. Like there was a lot of really good players back in the day on YouTube.
Yeah.
And there still is, of course.
Yeah. But I mean, it's less active, I guess, especially for that game. So okay, so we get to that notorious part here, where it's possible to do it without taking damage. Here also, I use this ultimate technique because long animation, and I can also do it like this twice in a row. And then after, I think I'm using, no, I'm not even using an invoke, never mind.
No flails, man? I'm disappointed.
Flail, they don't work as good as NGB. I know, I like them, Chris and NGB, but in this one, they're really disappointing. Yeah, I know you're messing around, but I wanted to use them.
I used to use dual swords.
Combo isn't reliable, and here, okay, that boss is my worst boss. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really understand his pattern very well, because I always cheese him with graveyard side. But here, for little props to me, is I fight him for a couple of seconds with the thumb fuzz. All right, but guys, now it's done. Okay, the fun is done. We did it enough. Okay, I'm taking out the side, guys. It's done. We played enough with the thumb fuzz, and we're going back to what we know. On a serious note, though, you know what I'm probably gonna try to do is on that second run, I'm gonna try to actually fight the guy. Yeah, I'm gonna actually try to fight this guy, because it works out. Again, look, I've used thumb fuzz at the end again. I've used them 3 times, 3 combo. So not the entire fight was done with this, but I mean, I would like to do a better fight, because
he gives you a good pattern. He's one of the easiest bosses in the game. If you get a bad one, oof.
Yeah, me tend to block often and counter attack when I try to go for him if I don't cheese him, and that's why I get fucked a lot of time. So here is also a place where
the biggest troll in history.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest troll. But you know what I've noticed is that when you do it with the sight like this, it's faster to take down the mine, because you take down multiple at the same time. You can with the arrow, but it's not the same number. So you will see me do it a little bit, and then do a certain combination, and at some point there is indeed a set amount. Okay, so they will not keep spawning forever and troll you. Like I thought at first, because that's exactly what I was
thought this was an infinite spawn.
Yeah, no, it's not. You will see there is a certain amount. Now the trick is, okay, after getting out of this, because that's the part where I thought I could not do it without taking damage, and it was actually pretty tricky to come up with a good strat that worked out great, is that if I start, running straight up on the lava, dropping from that ledge here, it's gonna instantly give me a tick damage. Okay, so the only way to bypass that is to basically go straight into a flying swallow, and then it will cancel out the damage animation when you land. So basically, that's the only way to make it past that section without taking damage. And I'm gonna show, same as I did with the acid cave, once I'm past that point, I'm gonna try taking an elixir or an herb or spiritual. Anyway, I'm used to the elixir, right? Bite me. So I'm gonna take one just to prove that I did not take damage, and it shows that it it canceled the damage. So here, just making sure, you know, that there's no mine left.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna take the Shuriken, True Dragon Sword. I'm trying to take an elixir to try to take damage. Jump, I think Shuriken cancel. Boom, jump, and there you go.
There it is.
That's how you make it past that part without taking
damn.
damage. And it's funny because those sections like are so fucking short, but
Yep.
but they're like really satisfying because these are the key section.
Well, because nobody's managed to navigate them to our knowledge. that has
Exactly.
been
Without taking damage. So that's why, as much as they're like, man, that was a 2-second segment, calm down. But no, these are the innovation idea of this run, you know. These are like the strategy that makes basically the difference in this run. And do you like the setting of that area?
I really like this forest, yeah. I love the blue hue of it. Not the biggest fan of the crazy spindly-legged marionette ladies that everybody spams the windmill shuriken on. But yeah, this location, it has like majestic forest written all over it. It makes me think of high fantasy and what the hell is going to be on the other side of it, so it sets the tone almost perfectly.
You know what enemy I would have seen here in the game?
The centaurs? The best enemy?
Now I know when you tell me that, I know you're
Bats.
trolling.
You're going to say bats, right?
No, but for real, you know what enemy I would have
Probably
seen
bats.
in the forest like this? Wolves, like
It
him.
would have made more sense.
Yeah, like that would have made sense, you know, wolves, because you know werewolves and settings, like I don't know, man, with the fog and all of this. These enemy, I don't
How
see what
about
they're doing
ghost
there.
sharks?
Ghost shark instead
ghost
of
fish.
ghost fish, ghost
Ghost
shark.
shark,
And
yeah.
so they're not popcorn enemy anymore, though, right?
Oh, no. They've evolved. We could give them Vigorian flails. I don't know.
That sounds like that sounds like the type of enemy Itagaki would have wanted you to come up with. You know, this is the amazing ideas. Those guys also might not seem like they're scary, but they are scary because you know that diagonal drop that they do.
Gotta dive kick.
It has, we'll say, insane reaching distance. You see, it sometimes
sorry, just then.
it's sometimes teleport straight to you, and it's really scary. You know. Talking about centaurs, though, did you say that because of the upcoming fight that's coming up?
I most certainly did. The
Yeah.
centaurs are one of those enemies that, conceptually, and then in both God of War and in this, they weren't very fun to fight.
Alright, so again, another technical difficulty with Discord starting to cut off. So what we were saying is about those centaur enemy. You know, we were talking about why you mentioned them before that fight, and then you were going to say something about these enemies. What's your take on these enemies? I don't know why the fuck they, first of all, get introduced with that boss in the first place. It makes no sense to me.
Well, I know that from the design videos that they shared with us, there were moments where the team would create an enemy, they'd think it was really cool, but then it wouldn't make it into the game for whatever reason. And then Itagaki would go to a club afterwards with his team, they would all get drunk, and then they would steadily go up to him and kind of convince him to use their enemy designs. So I get the feeling that the centaur was something that was cool to design, but perhaps didn't belong in the game, and snuck its way in on one of those drunken evenings. Because he just doesn't suit the game, really.
They're extremely tanky also. That's one of the problem. They don't flinch much either. I don't know, they have really weird pattern. Their attack does a lot of fucking damage.
And they're one of the few enemies in this game that actively don't always engage you. They run away from you.
Yeah.
Nothing in Ninja Gaiden usually runs away from you.
Yeah, that's true. Because they have that weird ass pattern where it's kind of for them to charge back at you, you know, if that makes sense. So
Yeah, for them to finish their charge, they need to be at a greater distance, so they run the whole way and then run the whole way back, and it just doesn't lead to a good back and forth. It's not the ballet of combat that it should be. It's unique and it's interesting, but I just think it's ill-suited.
yeah. It's definitely not the type of enemy I think you would want to fight in that game. But regardless of it, though, I do destroy them all during the whole fight because, you know, I want to kill both the claw away and not basically ignore them and go with the raining blood you know, or raining.
Wow, scythe.
Yeah, because that's what I've seen. You know, the other Asian player do in one of his runs is he just totally ignore the centaurs and go for wolves specifically. And me, even if I think it was annoying, I really wanted to dispatch all those guys basically. And here was actually really fucking risky what I did there. You know what I think I was going for initially? Initially, now that I'm rewatching this, I think I was probably go for no. No, I think I was trying to go actually for the OT because I had shot the arrow on that one and I think I deal him, you know. So I wanted to go close and get the OT. But I realized, I think once I got there, that it was a really fucking bad idea because the OT detection with the Tom Fuzz,
especially with the Tom Fuzz,
is one of the worst one, you know. So I think that's why. And then me jumping on the tree after is more like a panicked acting, you know, of like, fuck, what did I got myself into? Let's get the fuck out of there. Pretty much, that's what I think happened, you know. But it's hard to say, you know, when you're out of the context of when that happened and you redo a commentary later. Was it really that? You know, was it me?
Well,
that
also
just
when
fucked
you're
up?
playing, you're not thinking about what you're doing. You're just reacting. You're in the game in that moment, and a lot of the times you do things because your hands just move themselves.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
don't
yeah.
really think about each action because it's natural. You've been playing for a decent amount of time at that point. And when
So-
you panic, that's when all of that fluidity and all of the skill just flies away, and you go into the territory of being a scrub again.
Yeah, yeah, and it does happen every now and then, you know. It's like it's almost unavoidable in that game, those moments, like because you would want all those fights to go, you know, flawless and be really really fast and all of that, but
Well,
it's
compare this to you playing Ninja Gaiden Black, a game you have so much invested muscle memory in. When you panic in Ninja Gaiden Black, you play better than I ever will.
yeah.
Whereas in this game, you don't have the same amount of time, so when you panic, you're like most players when they panic, and that skill level comes down a little bit.
Yeah, it does definitely, but you know, it makes for those funny moment in the fight because a lot of time it will be improvised at that point when there's those little fuck up, you know.
Yeah,
which
I
is,
love those moments.
which is interesting to watch.
I've built a
after.
channel on those moments.
No, it's Chris. That's not true. You have a lot of skill. Okay, come on. Like he's exaggerating there. And come on, like his entire channel is RNG, guys. You know, it's not skill.
Pretty much.
It's all luck. All of us
I
guys.
got very lucky.
Yeah, we're all very lucky in video games. So funny enough,
Using Void.
I could have. You know what? I think in the next run, I'm probably gonna use the fireball. I think. You know.
Oh, you think so? Yeah.
Um,
Art of Inferno?
Yeah, Art of Inferno. I don't know why I said fireball because it shoots
Well,
fireball.
we knew
but
what you meant.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know,
But
let's talk about the Bass Fiends.
Inferno. So the has fiend. Who are these cats? Oh yeah, we know who they are.
Exactly.
So next
Did you
time
know
I
it's not actually Rosetsu?
yeah. Yeah, is it the spider ninja though? So
Well,
next run,
technically, it's actually Rosetsu's cousin.
yeah, because we killed the first one, the original one, right? And the red one are not Resetsu
Is
either.
there any need to be so pedantic, though? You know what we're talking about, guys. Don't be that guy.
Yeah, like you understand what I mean, like with the fireball. So I think I would use that instead of Piercing Void. Piercing Void is really good and has good damage, but I kind of noticed at the end though, you know, I think it's in chapter 14, the chapter right after where. Or no, it's true. We're still in Quick Devastation. No,
Yeah,
no,
we're
no.
still
So
12,
yeah. So the chapter after we get some, and I think I take them down with the fireball, and I did not notice that the Inferno takes them down basically in one fireball. So that's a good thing to know. You know, here it's not bad Piercing Void when I do the 360 move because usually we'll dispatch them and it does great damage, but it doesn't lock on. So usually you have to free aim that, and you know how it's.
I can also comment from experience that Inferno is the only Nimpo I really used on Master Ninja, except for Windblades when I realised how good it was against the ninjas. So yeah, Inferno is a very good, especially once you level it.
Yeah, so you see here, I think I let Ryu aim and it doesn't work out that great. He sometimes even misses himself, I think, you know. He doesn't
Yeah.
always target. But you see, piercing void in certain situation, like as you know, for example, in the canyon and all of that.
And if you can line up piercing void, it does not mess around.
Yeah, it does insane damage. It's really good. I think this is the last one, and because of this, I wanted to go for a charge, you know, but.
Oh, you are a brave man.
But like he was really fucking slow, and then you know who does it decide to focus?
It's almost like your karma running in mission mode again.
the bus, you know. Oh my god, I got lucky because sometimes you can literally interrupt your ultimate technique in the middle, so that was like fortunate for me. And here is basically to get the lucky break, I guess, of a hit.
Stun him with the scythe and then get into the claws.
Yeah, and here, see, I do not want to get looped right now, says Wolf, so...
He's blocking everything. What a bit. There we go.
Yeah, started working
That's a
at
good
the end.
point.
He's always blocking at the end. So anyway, that chapter, pretty hard overall, but I'm really happy I got past that lava part with Zidonius. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I will let Mr. Seraphim conclude, and I will catch up next time.
Yeah, guys, you just saw history. Navigation of a sequence that we believed to be impossible to no damage. I'm very happy to report that we were wrong. Thank you for watching, and you take care now.